The flight recorders from doomed Malaysia Airlines Flight 17 are now in the hands of UK investigators. The hope from here to definitively find out what happened in the final moments of the plane going down. Now, I'm Ramy Inocencio for Asia Today. Tom Ballantyne joins me from Sydney. He's a longtime aviation expert and chief correspondent for Orient Aviation. Now, Tom, first off, as a baseline, outline what the black boxes can tell us.
They can tell us an awful lot. There are two black boxes, of course. The first one is the flight data recorder, which records dozens and dozens of different parameters of what the aircraft is doing at any particular moment. Its precise altitude, for instance, the speed it was going, its course, precisely where it was in the sky when the accident happened. It sucks in information from the engines, what they were doing. It also tells us what the pilots were doing in terms of movement of the controls in the cockpit. The second black box, in this case possibly more important, is the cockpit voice recorder, because that will tell us whether the pilots had any warning of this strike, if indeed it was a missile. It will tell us whether they tried to do anything about it, whether they had time to do anything about it. It will also have recorded some noise from the explosion, and that's a key thing, because there would be a big difference between a large ground-to-air missile hitting the aircraft and, let's say, a much smaller air-to-air missile from a fighter aircraft. So it will give us all that sort of information and give us some very good, clear signals to precisely what happened to this aircraft.
Right, and one major question that's floating around out there is whether MH17 broke up nearly immediately within seconds, or if it actually broke up over the course of maybe a minute or more as it fell from 33,000 feet. What kind of information that the black boxes record could tell us more about what happened in those final moments?
Well, certainly, if the aircraft didn't implode immediately in a matter of seconds, as it were, and the black boxes continue to operate even for 10, 20 seconds, it'll give us a lot of information about the way that this explosion happened. And it will even indicate, because a forensic investigation of the audio from the cockpit will give an indication of what part of the aircraft, for instance, broke up first. Was it a wing breaking off, or was it the tail breaking off? It'll give us a very good indication of that.
Right, and another question. I understand that these flight recorders are very, very strong. I mean, they can withstand a lot of impact, but can they withstand a potential missile strike?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I mean, and obviously these two black boxes, which have now been recovered and which are pretty obviously in pretty good condition, have survived this missile strike. They're very, very strong, sturdy pieces of equipment, and they can take a lot of beating. And the material, the vital material which is inside the black box, is very, very well protected.
Now, the black boxes are in the hands of UK investigators, but they've been ordered to handle them with extreme care. The idea there is that there has been at least the belief or the fear that they might have been tampered with. If they have been tampered with, how would we know, and what could be changed with the data inside?
Oh, the investigators would know if it had been tampered with. It is possible to tamper with them. Let's face it, they were in the hands of the rebels in Ukraine for a couple of days or several days before they were handed over. If someone knew what they're doing, they could plug in, they could delete stuff, they could scramble some of it, but the investigators will know if that has happened, because the people in the UK, they are experts, and they will know if someone has tampered with these boxes.
Right, and of course, so we all hope that that has not been tampered with at all. All right, Tom Ballantyne, we'll leave it there. Longtime aviation expert and chief correspondent for Orient Aviation based in Sydney. Always very, very good to talk with you, sir. For more on this, head to thewallstreetjournal.com. I'm Ramy Inocencio in Hong Kong.